Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Diz Dining Show. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, Dreams Unlimited travel agent Sean Falk.
Hi.
Diz senior editor, Charles Boda.
Hey, folks.
Diz associate editor and staff contributor, Mr. Steve Porter.
Hello.
And back in the production nook, I don't know if you're on camera or not, but Rhino Clavin's on the controls. And why are you so dark?
I didn't think I was going to be on camera, so I didn't fix it. So, because I went to fix it, and Craig said, "Don't worry about that, Rhino," and told me to sit down. So,
Okay.
You didn't eat there.
That's true. You were not there for this particular review, which is one that probably the most reviled restaurant that we've ever covered in the history of the Diz, Tony's Town Square restaurant in the Magic Kingdom. They recently brought in a new executive chef and have made some changes to the menu, so we thought it would be a good idea to head back over there and check it out, and we did. And I will tell you, this was one of the most contentious reviews that we've done. There was a lot of back and forth at the table. I will be honest, I see a lot of improvement in Tony's. A lot of improvement. But some of these guys, especially the ones that haven't eaten there before, were like, what the hell? So let's get started. It was a miserable day. It's been raining here like crazy. So we were all kind of already wet and pissed off with the weather. But I went in with an open mind. I think we all did. Mm-hmm. For an appetizer, okay, so I need to preface this. I recently started a low-carb diet. And so my experiences here are not typical because I, really had to kind of specialize everything I ate, like, right down to the salad, leave this out. And I want to say they were wonderful about adjusting things to my tastes.
very accommodating.
Incredibly accommodating. So I'll give them that. I ordered a salad, a garden salad. Told them what I could have, what I couldn't have, and they brought out this massive salad for me. That was delicious. Everything on it was fresh. All the vegetables, the lettuce. There was no wilted lettuce. There was no, anything. It was really, really good. It was a good salad, and I ate most of it. Charles, what did you order for your appetizer?
For my appetizer, I had some form of soup.
Yes. This was the first place that there was some back and forth.
Yeah.
You ordered it was the seasonal soup, I believe.
Yeah.
It was a Tuscan. It was supposed to be a Tuscan soup with sausage in it. It was really more of a French onion with sausage in it.
And they mentioned it was our server Casey mentioned that it was like an onion soup with sausage. So, and that actually kind of got me excited for it. I love onion. I love onion soups. Anything involved. Add some sausage in there, and that seems like a winning combination to me. So I was really looking forward to it. And I will say off the bat, I don't have any preconceived notions, and I don't have any baggage when it comes to Casey. So I was looking for
Tony's.
Sorry, Casey.
Casey.
Our server was named Casey, so I was.
And he was. I just want to. I want to make sure we say this several times. This guy was among the best servers I've ever had at a Disney restaurant.
He was so good that I was convinced until the very end of the meal that Disney had maybe saw Pete's name or something and specifically set this guy up for us because he was so good. It turns out that they had no idea.
We found out at the end they had until they really saw us filming stuff.
a long time, yeah.
And then they realized what we were doing there. But it wasn't until the end of the meal.
Yeah. So before I start saying horrible but true things, that I would probably go back if I knew he was going to be our server. That's how great he was. That's how great the service was. But when it comes to the soup appetizer, it was horrendously sweet. And everything there, this is a trend. I love salty foods, but their food is oversalted, and I honestly think a lot of it is to cover up for some of the deficiencies in flavor that come naturally with it. But it was sweet onion, sweet sausage. And it wasn't sweet with like a really rich flavor. It was just overly sweet. I didn't like the flavor. all in all, it wasn't very good, and I was really looking forward to it. So I was sad that they dropped the ball on it so much.
And I took a taste of the soup, and I thought it was delicious.
Yeah, well, I
but
would.
then again, it's been a few weeks since I've had anything sweet, and it was sweet, but I love sweet. So I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was really good.
But you've got diet madness, and I will stipulate. I think one of the reasons for the contention is that you've just, the diet has made you insane. And
I don't think that's true. I think
that's the only possible explanation for liking that soup is.
No, it just means you didn't like it, and I did. That's
Steve,
the other
okay,
explanation.
Okay, let me step in because I also had the soup. Usually we try to order separate things. I think there was a miscommunication because I ordered, I think, the house soup and you ordered the sausage soup, which turns out to be the same thing. Anyways, the broth was disgusting. It was, like Charles was saying, it was very, over the top sweet. I thought it had way too much of a fattiness to it. I know you're going to say, well, it's sausage.
There was sausage in it.
Yeah,
Of course, there's
but-
going to be some fat in it. There was sausage
It was
there.
excessive.
No, I disagree.
I thought I will say I thought the sausage itself, if you picked it out, was good. But the soup and the broth, was horrible.
Now, you tasted it, Sean, didn't you? Did you taste their soup? No.
No.
Good for
So
you.
I have nothing to input on it because I didn't try the soup.
All right. Well, what did you have for your appetizer?
I had 2 appetizers. I got a Caesar salad for one because I thought, well, we'll just try something basic. I've heard really terrible things about Tony's, and had never been there myself. And I just was like, let's go. Our server was really great. It's not a good enough reason for me to go back to the restaurant to. Hey, we can go for drinks or something if he wants to hang out outside of work. But I can't go back and eat there for him. But he was amazing. But my Caesar salad was probably the best thing I had as far as what I ordered. It was really massive. Like Pete had said with his salad, all the lettuce was really crisp. It was all really, like, none of it was wilted. But it had like the most pepper in it I've ever had.
Well, it had some pepper. There was a little kick to it. I didn't think there was a lot. I think there was enough to taste, but I didn't think it was like just one mouthful of pepper with every bite.
It was enough that I was like, the pepper in this salad. Like I am remembering still, like, God, that pepper in that salad. It was a lot. And I do agree with Charles. I think they have to put things like that to like make up for low quality food, which. If you eat it, this food is not the best quality of ingredients that they're getting. It may be better than what it was before, but I only have now to go off of. And then my other appetizer I got was an eggplant something, and it was
eggplant involtini, which is tomato, basil sauce, pine nuts, and Romano cheese.
Yes, I got that because we had been to Italy recently, and everything had pine nuts and pine flavor and all that, which I'd never had before. I've never really thought of pine being a good taste in food, but
well, the pine nuts don't taste like pine.
Well, I just when we were in Italy, I was like, pine. I don't know what that, but so I thought, well, I need to get this because a lot of things there had eggplant, so this sounds like it'd be the most traditional. And it was just absolutely disgusting. I hated it. It was so salty. That's all I could taste was salt. It was just a mouth of salt, and it was really bad. Like, it was one of the worst appetizers of anything we've ever reviewed. So the salad was okay though.
All right. Well, Sean's eggplant was $12. My salad was $11, and the seasonal soup these guys got was $9. And because I took a lot of things off my main course because they're not consistent with my diet. They went ahead and did not charge me for the salad, which I thought, again, really, really nice. But all right, so moving on to our main course, I ordered the Roman style steak. This is a grilled 8-ounce Angus hanger steak. Caramelized onions, rosemary crushed potatoes, and local vegetables. Well, I had to pull off, and this is a $32 dish, so this is not a cheap dish. I had to pull off the caramelized onions and the potatoes, and I just went with some fresh vegetables to go with it. And I'm going to tell you, this steak was absolutely delicious. I would go back just for this. I thought it was fantastic. It's a hanger steak, and they tend to be more on the fatty side, but that fat also gives them flavor. So it was very flavorful. It needed no sauce. It needed no seasoning. How it was prepared on its own. It didn't even need the caramelized onions that they include with it. This steak stands on its own. Now, is it, California Grill? No, of course not. But it was very good. I thought it was a little overpriced at $32 though.
Yeah.
But it was very, very good. And again, the vegetables were fresh. They were crisp. They were really well prepared. I cannot believe I'm talking about vegetables, but I am. These guys watched me. We have video somewhere. If I find it, we'll drop it in here in post of me eating broccoli in public for the first time. I'm really trying to push through on my vegetable issues. And I'm making progress. What?
It sounds like trauma.
It is trauma.
I'm trying to.
Bless her heart. I love my mother to death, but what that woman did to me with vegetables, that really had an impact.
My friends and
when you
family
have
are
these
being
mommy
very-
dearest, when you have these damn mommy dearest moments over cream spinach, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, and I'm sitting there gagging, and this woman will not let me leave the table until I finish it. You're damn right. When I got to make a choice, I'm like, ciao, I'm done. I'm not eating it. So, and that's just kind of been a constant thing. But now I'm going low carb, so I've got to bring a lot of vegetables into my diet, and so I'm trying. So yes, it was trauma. There's no two ways about it. All right, talk about your main course there.
All right. Speaking of trauma, actually, my main course wasn't the most horrendous thing I've ever eaten. The idea behind it was good, but generally it was.
Do you want to share with us what it was?
I'm about to. Interrupting me because of the diet madness. It was a pesto gnocchi primavera dish. With you can add shrimp or chicken on for an additional charge. I decided to add grilled chicken on for an additional charge, which ended up being quite a huge mistake. The dish itself had some good elements. It had like a bunch of different seasonal vegetables and everything, and they weren't overly low quality. But as far as the actual pasta itself, I'm talking like maybe 7 pieces, not gigantic pieces, but 7 pieces of gnocchi, and that I usually order a dish very similar to that at the local Italian place. On the way, I get gnocchi with pesto sauce and then a side of sausage, and I love it. I love pesto sauce. I once again ordered something I was excited to eat and something that I thought would be really pleasing to me. But it just, it was mostly vegetables. Most of the pesto sauce was settled at the bottom with just a large amount of peas. Too many peas, to be honest with you. But the chicken was the worst part. The grilled chicken on top of it was absolutely inedible. Every single person here has seen me eat, and even if the food is bad, I usually eat every bite of every single course, so it has to be pretty bad for me to not finish. The chicken it took a lot of strength to cut through. It was dry. It was just very bad. Now, one thing is, we did complain about this, the quality of the chicken, and Casey did end up bringing us a fresh off the grilled chicken, which was a little juicier, but there's only so much you can do with the quality and caliber of the chicken they're using. So if that piece that he brought fresh off the grill had sat for 30 more seconds, it wouldn't have been that good. And there's nothing they can do about it.
Well, your dish was the house-made gnocchi primavera with grilled chicken breasts. That's potato gnocchi, garden vegetables, basil pesto, and Parmesan Reggiano cheese. $26. And yeah, the chicken was overly dry, and the quality of the chicken that they're using, if that sits under a heat lamp for more than a minute, it's going to dry right. It's going to dry right out. It really has to go right from the grill to the table. And when they did bring out that other breast, it was moist. It was tender. It was really good. When we get to Sean also had a problem with the chicken, and to her credit, toward the end of our meal, when they realized what we were doing, the chef came out. And there's a new executive chef. Her name's Chef Katie. And she came out and she asked us our thoughts. And we told her everything pretty much we're telling you. And I got to tell you, she was really open to that feedback. She's trying to make a lot of changes to the restaurant. I know one of the big things people want to know is about the red sauce. And yes, the red sauce has changed. It is now no longer out of a can. They are making a lot of it fresh. There are some ingredients in it that are canned that they're putting in, but they have changed the recipe, and it's a lot better than it was. Is it the best red sauce I've ever had? Not by a mile, but it's a lot better than it was. And I can see that effort going in here as she tries to change up these dishes. Another big change in this restaurant, all the pasta is now being made fresh in-house. So you can see that there is these, she's only been a few months. Yeah. I don't even think it's been 6 months.
I also want to say she had a great attitude in, like, when we were critical of something. For example, when we mentioned the soup that me and Charles didn't like, she said, "You know what? I don't like it either." And I was like, whoa. Like, I was not expecting. Disney usually has a way of, they just put on that smiley face and oh, you didn't like it. And they just kind of move around the question if it happens to be that they don't like it as well. But I think her attitude of accepting that criticism and understanding why people don't like certain things and then saying, oh, well, maybe, it creates an environment for her and probably for to create a better restaurant going forward. I think that she has the right attitude in fixing this place, and that, I don't know, I just was optimistic.
It's really going to come down to how much Disney lets her do. It's not just a matter of a new chef coming in and magically everything is made better. One of the problems, this has been a consistent problem with Tony's Town Square, I think because of the volume it does, they've gone with lower quality foods. Mm-hmm. Now, to let her do higher quality foods and keep the level of profit margin Disney's used to in this restaurant, the prices are going to go out of control. And so she's having to really thread this needle. Now, she wasn't saying this to me. This is just stuff that I know. That's a challenge. So what I see her doing in these dishes, especially these new ones, is really trying to figure out how she can work around what Disney requires of her, and at the same time really raise the level of the experience. And that's an easy phrase to say. It's a much, much more difficult thing to do. So while maybe not everything's hitting on all cylinders, first of all, from the last time I was there, I see huge improvement. But more importantly, I see an attitude of wanting to make this a better place. I think that's why I'm getting defensive about Tony's, which I never thought those words would leave my mouth. But I think that there is an effort being made, and I think that deserves to be supported.
Yeah. With my meal, a lot of those things ring true. Surely there's an effort. The chicken is low quality, and once again, there's nothing you can do about that. The pasta was good.
There is. They can buy better quality chicken.
I mean, with that chicken, there's no preparation. There's no way you can take that chicken and make it good. I just imagine that chicken died very, very old, sitting on a rocking chair with hate in its heart, and they just scooped it up and fried it for your pleasure. Wow. It's a bitter chicken.
That was very specific.
Yeah.
But
it's very accurate.
Yeah, you can really taste the hate
too. So.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's. The dishes were a little more original and a little more unique than I expected, given the reputation of this place. And I think it is a workaround to some of those lower quality ingredients, and it's creative. And we'll see that later on too. But there were some creative calls that they made to try and use those in a unique way to get past that. But they also fell to old standbys like over salting or over seasoning to get past the lower quality ingredients as well. So it's kind of a bind for them to take those raw materials, I think, and make it into something top.
All right, Steve, what did you have?
I had the ravioli. It had spinach and ricotta cheese in it. You could have, like Charles's dish, you could have chicken or shrimp added. I chose not to. With the experiences that everyone else had, I'm glad that I didn't add the chicken. That being said, the presentation was very beautiful. I think they did a great job. Mm-hmm. They had the spinach
and ricotta cheese, rigat. or spinach and regat ravioli, heirloom tomatoes, wilted chard, and lemon parmesan crema.
I was trying to say
for $22.
Alfredo.
For $22. The dish was $22.
Came out avocado.
Well, it's not an Alfredo. It's a lemon parmesan crema, which
okay.
is, kind of similar to an Alfredo.
It's a white sauce.
It's a white sauce, yes.
It was not what I was expecting an Alfredo, so maybe that's what it was. Because when I first started the dish, I didn't like the sauce that much. I thought the raviolis were great. By the end of the dish, I actually did enjoy the sauce. Overall, I thought it was really good. The portion size was small. I think if they're making these raviolis in-house, maybe they need to make them a little bit bigger, because I finished my meal quicker than everyone else because they give like 5 half-dollar sized raviolis, so it was very quick. That being said, it was good so I was finishing it or eating it quickly. Drop everything and go just for this ravioli? No, it wasn't the best ravioli I've ever had, but with the expectations of what I've heard of this place being so horrible, I was not expecting it to be as good as it was. So that was good. This is also one of the newer items, I believe. So I think going forward, if there's small tweaks, this could become one of the better dishes because I liked it. So overall, I don't have a lot to critique on it besides the fact that I didn't like the sauce at first, but overall it was really good.
All right. Sean, what about yours?
I have a lot to say. First of all, their dishes were really, really, really pretty. So I'll give them that. Whatever they've done as far as presentation, I don't know what it was before, but now it looks amazing. And you can tell because their 3 dishes were new, and mine was the chicken Alfredo that was one of the old menu items. And if you could have just seen them all 4 on the table at one time, you could clearly tell Chef Katie did those other 3 things, and then mine was like a pre-done thing because it didn't look good, it didn't taste good. But
Wait, what did you have again?
I had chicken Alfredo.
Okay.
So going on what they said as far as Chef Katie went, I mean, I got a better look by getting to talk to her at what a chef goes through. Because, I mean, in my head, I'm like, wow, this chef is terrible because the food's not good, which now I've kind of learned isn't necessarily the case. She doesn't have a lot to work with, from what I can tell. And she's kind of set by Disney and what she can do and what she can't do.
Well, and she's also very new.
Yeah.
So she's like...
Yeah, literally, I think she just
January.
came in January and from not within the company. She came from Louisiana. So she just kind of got dropped into this hellhole of a restaurant and okay, fix. And again, this is prime real estate in the Magic Kingdom. This is should be a premier restaurant, and I think I think she's trying to work towards that.
Yeah, so me even saying that is now I have a better perspective on that side of things, and so none of this is necessarily like a direct thing at her. She doesn't have a lot to work with based on ingredient qualities and everything like that, so we'll see what she does. Thoughts and prayers to Chef Katie in the future. But my chicken Alfredo was one of the worst things I've ever eaten in my whole life. The pasta was terrible. If they're making that in-house, they got to stop and buy boxed because that was really bad.
What was bad about it?
It was like when you would put it in your mouth, it was like it fell apart in like a gritty kind of way. It was just there was something about it that was disgusting. The sauce was really bad as well, and I got talked our waiter, he said I was torn between the pizza and the chicken Alfredo, and he was like, oh, you should get the chicken Alfredo. So I'm concerned about the pizza because of how bad the chicken Alfredo was. So and then the worst part was the chicken Alfredo, as Charles had said, and there's a clip out there of me picking up my chicken breast and having to rip it with my bare hands because my knife would not cut through it. My teeth wouldn't go through it. So, and I didn't eat one piece of the chicken because I physically couldn't chew it.
I almost wonder if it would have bounced.
I don't know. I don't know what they could have done to it to make it like that. I don't cook a lot, but
if it's a lower quality chicken and it sits under a heat, and I could tell that your dish had been under a heat lamp because especially when you do an Alfredo,
Yeah. It coagulated.
the look and color of the dish will change. The parts of the parts of the pasta that don't necessarily have a lot of Alfredo sauce on them, you'll see it kind of dry out. And as soon as you mix it up, it all looks fine because
Right.
it's being covered by a really thick Alfredo sauce. But now I took a taste of yours, and I didn't eat the whole thing, obviously, but I took a taste of yours, and I thought the Alfredo sauce was actually decent. And I really didn't feel one way or the other about the pasta. But, I know you absolutely hated it.
Yeah, I didn't like the dish at all. I didn't think it was very good. The chicken was completely inedible. I mean, I really hope the clip makes it in there because it was so bad of chicken quality and everything. And I didn't really try anyone else's except yours. I tried your steak. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was. I thought it was good for the Magic Kingdom, but I thought it was way overpriced. You could take that same $32 and spend it on a way better steak somewhere else on Disney property.
I think it was overpriced. I don't think it was grossly overpriced. I thought it was really well prepared. The steak was very tender, and it was delicious. It was very flavorful. And I'm going to tell you, I've paid more and gotten less.
I tried it as well, and I thought it was one of the better things I've had in the Magic Kingdom. Not saying that the Magic Kingdom is known for having the best food of the 4 theme parks, but I thought, I was pleasantly surprised with how good it was. So.
Well, given how profitable the Magic Kingdom is, you'd think they could make some adjustments in terms of the quality of the food that they're serving. But now for dessert, I know we tried that seasonal cheesecake.
Yeah.
That was absolutely out of this world.
Sure it was.
Yeah, different world.
Except,
Different universe.
All right, you might be forgetting about a key game-changing element.
There was an odd, and we questioned Chef Katie on this because it was a very, very odd choice. What looked to be a layer of chocolate around the rim of the dish actually turned out to be balsamic vinegar. And in all my years, in all my years of, and I don't eat at, low rent places. I've had a lot of meals at really upscale places all over the world. I have yet to experience balsamic vinegar with a cheesecake, and this was a fail. The cheesecake itself was absolutely out of this world. The blend of cheesecake and balsamic vinegar. Not a good idea.
Well, it's especially funny because like we were saying, it looks like chocolate. So you're duped into being getting a big scoop of chocolate with it.
Yeah, when I took the first bite, and I guess Casey had mentioned that there was balsamic there, but I wasn't there for that heads up. So I thought it was chocolate or some kind of strawberry sauce or something like that. And I took the first bite, and I'd actually thought, oh my God, this cheesecake has gone bad. And then I was like, wait, that's a very specific type of, is that vinegar? Is that balsamic vinegar? And I realized the reason they made that call might be because balsamic vinegar goes really well with fresh strawberries. But, and I bring it up often enough in these dining shows. My girlfriend is a chef, and so I brought this up to her, throwing it around. And I was like, yeah, so they made a weird call in dessert. I want to know if this is common in maybe different places or different countries or something. It was cheesecake with balsamic vinegar. And she gave me this horrified look, and she's like, no, that is not a thing.
Now this dish, the seasonal cheesecake, is $8.50. And I will say the cheesecake itself, the quality of it was outstanding.
It was good. I wouldn't go with outstanding, but I thought it was very decent.
Thought it was an outstanding I've had far worse. Now, Steve, you ordered the tiramisu, Kahlua espresso soaked ladyfingers and whipped mascarpone, topped with a mocha cream for $8.
Yeah, and I actually, when I was looking at the menu, like I said before, we try to order different things, and kind of everything else was picked, and then I was like, oh, I guess I'm gonna get the tiramisu. I am so glad that I did, because it was easily, I think everyone could agree that it was the best if not tied. I think you like the cheesecake a little bit better, but I think everyone else.
Well, I didn't
agrees.
try the tiramisu because it's soaked in Kahlua.
But
So
yeah.
Oh crap! I didn't.
Was it?
yeah,
What? Oh.
it's Kahlua. It's Kahlua espresso.
Well, it was delicious.
It was delicious. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so
Enjoy
good.
rehab, Charlie.
It was like really fluffy, and I don't really love the coffee flavor, but it was just like the perfect hint of coffee flavoring that it was like so good.
Because it was swimming in alcohol.
Maybe.
I didn't taste alcohol.
Yeah, I didn't at all.
And Sean, you got the chocolate cake for $9.50. What were your thoughts on the chocolate cake?
Just went with the rest of my meal, so I don't know. It wasn't worse than the previous things I had eaten. It was very like, I wouldn't say middle of the road because that's like too much for it, but it was like if you went to, I mean, me and Steve talked about it. It was like if you were staying in one of the value resorts and went to the food court, or really any of the food courts, I guess, and then opened the glass case and got a chocolate cake out of it. Like it was this mousse kind of.
It's like the
chocolate cake
snack
thing.
that you can get on the side of like the quick service locations. Yeah.
So it wasn't good. It was just really plain. There wasn't a lot to it. So I mean, I definitely don't recommend it. Steve's dish was amazing. That tiramisu was the best thing that was put on that table, period, for the whole day.
The presentation of your chocolate cake was unique.
It was very unique. I did not like that either.
dirty underwear.
Yeah, it was not a pretty sight.
It was a skid mark going down the middle. You know what they typically do, where they take the
Yeah.
chocolate and they spread it.
It's just it wasn't
It wasn't a good way.
it wasn't the best way to.
And then, yeah, I mean, the tiramisu was the best. I mean, of everything I tried the entire meal, that was the best thing. So that's the only thing I would pop in and be like, can I get some tiramisu from you guys? Because it was really good. But I mean, I still can't get over they put balsamic vinaigrette on that cheese. And I just,
Not on it, around it, but okay.
it was close enough. Or whatever, it should have been in the kitchen. So, and not on a plate with the cheesecake. So.
All right, Charles. Scale of 1 to. Oh, let me just say that the total for this with my Tables in Wonderland discount was about $180. So that was not a cheap meal. You're talking about, for appetizer, main course, and dessert for 4 adults. You're looking at a solidly, $45 a person with no alcohol being served. But on a scale of 1 to 10, Charles, what do you give Tony's Town Square?
For me personally, I'm gonna go with 4, with an asterisk that says that the service was phenomenal. But yeah, I still have to give it a 4.
Steve.
I'll jump a little bit higher. I'll say a 6, but I'll also put an asterisk and say it's trending upwards. I think in 6 months, this place could be way better.
Sean?
I'm trying to remember what I gave Boat Rights, because I know this is one very small step up from that. So I think I gave that a 1, so I'll give this a 2. So it's right there. Like, it's very borderline inedible, and I just couldn't recommend. I wouldn't send my loved ones here. As an agent, I wouldn't send my clients here. Like, I would not do that to them. So 2.
And I'm actually considering taking everything into account. My meal I thought was very good. I enjoyed my salad. I thought they were incredibly accommodating to my dietary restrictions. I thought that Roman steak, or the Roman style steak, was delicious. The vegetables were fresh and the service was excellent. So I'm giving it a 7. And I will put an asterisk next to mine, saying subject to further evaluation.
I will say, based on the money part of it, I forgot that when I was giving it a 2. I would be really upset if I had spent over $200, because without Tables in Wonderland, the average person coming,
Well-
that would have been a $200.
Well, as the person who did spend the $200, I'm going to say that it was overpriced for what we got.
Right.
But I'm not devastated. I'm not like, oh my God, that was the worst thing I've ever done. I'm sorry. I can't, given the meal I had, and given the interaction we had with the chef, I can't put this in the same scope as Boat Rights. I don't see Boat Rights making any effort at all, whereas clearly here they are trying to do something. Now, whether or not they've hit the mark yet is certainly, obviously, open for debate. but there's a real effort being made, and I think that deserves to be supported and applauded. So I will say that it is certainly far better than my last experience there a few years ago. Much, much better. So that is certainly a plus. And I think given time and how open she is to feedback, Chef Katie will make a marked difference on Tony's Town Square restaurant. And that is our review. We hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be back with you again next week with another episode of the Disney Dining Show. Have a great week, everybody.